Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Laura Bottei, and I am a student here at Loyola University Chicago. Welcome to today's concert. I have the honor of welcoming you and our performers today, and I have to say, it's great to be on the other side of the interview seat. So, Steve, you are playing one of the most iconic pieces of repertoire for the organ on this concert today. What are some considerations that come to mind as you prepare this piece?
Oh, sure. I think I think of a couple of things. Probably the first would be performance practice, and in just thinking about this piece as a work of Bach, thinking about German Baroque performance practice, fingering, phrasing, all the normal things that I would think about in any work of Bach that I'd play. And then with this piece being so famous, I'm also kind of putting two things into another thought of one, making the piece my own and trying not to mimic a recording. So it's so easy. I think any of us who are organists or any people that love organ music, we have an example of this piece that we've heard that we love. And I've always taken the standpoint that it's always better to use those as a starting off point and think about what in those recordings that you've heard that you like, but then sitting with that and thinking of my own musicality, what are the thoughts that I'm trying to get across to the listener, and really focusing on that. I also think about the the use of suspense and using the acoustic of the chapel to really let the music blossom, especially in the moments of the absence of sound. I think we're so lucky in the chapel to be able to record with it empty. The acoustic is so reverberant and the piece is so haunting that to take advantage of that acoustic, hands down, is something that I think about all the time. And then the last thing, just to encourage those of you who are watching at home, we're going to purposely put a little less imagery so people can watch the performer on this concert. And so in this piece, I think it's important to watch how the pedal is used. So in the toccata, the pedal is used more in developing the harmony, but in the fugue, it takes on an additional voice and has almost a independent role in the use of how the pedals used. So I think it's just fun to watch. If you've never gotten to watch an organist play, it's just fun because the pedal is very active in spots. And then in the way I've chosen to play this piece, there are a couple of spots where I'll change manuals, and I just think it's fun. You know, on a piano you have one keyboard, but on the organ we have three, and I take advantage of all three of those keyboards. And then I've chosen in the way I play this piece to change stops numerous times throughout the piece. So it's I just think it's fun for to watch the stop knobs move and to see how the stops change and to listen to for the different colors.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally think like sometimes the reverb in our chapel, especially when it's empty, can be a bit much for Bach.
Yeah.
But I think for this piece, it really adds to the kind of, booming, a little bit spooky aesthetic of it. So, in your opinion, what is it about this piece that makes it like so quintessentially spooky?
So I would say, you know, right off the bat, so many movies and commercials and things like that use the opening motive of this piece. So it just becomes this aural association. People hear that iconic ornament in the beginning. It's just two notes that come back to itself, and people already know. Like you just have to play, you know, the first beat, and people know what it is. So I think the association with pop culture and things like that, of course, but really looking at from a musical standpoint, it's in D minor, which is you know, D, and the minor version is always so haunting. There's a lot of opportunities for me for the piece to feel hollow, um, plus a loud registration, plus a use of a lot of stops, all kind of combine and to give just this sense of suspense and thrill. If we have the opportunity to record it during a thunderstorm and a heavy rain, that much more so. But you know, since we're recording this tomorrow, it's hard to tell what the weather will be. But you never know; could add to the whole thrill of it.
Yeah, for sure. So, thank you so much, Steve, for taking time to chat with all of us today. So, let's hear the music.
Well, Matthew, welcome. It's good to have you here with us today. This is your first time on our concert series. So why don't we start off and have you tell all of us who are watching today a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Thanks, Steve. Good to be with you.
Yep.
My name's Matthew Zurcher, born and raised Western Pennsylvania. I've always been active in music in one way or another. Right now, I'm a Jesuit scholastic. I'm very fortunate to be here in Chicago studying philosophy alongside the many wonderful, amazing Jesuits here on campus. I came to the organ last year. I've always been interested, I suppose, in the most complex, sort of beguiling versions of things. So the instrument has always been something I've wanted to learn, mainly because it seems so unruly and difficult and strange. And it's been a blast to learn it with you, Steve.
Cool. Well, thanks. It's been great to teach you. You don't always have beginning students who just right off the bat start and then just blaze through all the introductory technique and start on great repertoire. So it's an honor as well. And just to let all the people listening at home, I have a little dog sleeping on my floor here, and you might hear her every so often. So I know I can speak for everyone that's here listening. It's great to meet you. It's great to have you with us today, and I'm just so excited that a beginning student decided that they wanted to be on the program. A lot of people are often scared to do it, and I love the way you kind of face all your challenges head on. So thinking about this long lay piece that we're about to hear, is it possible to let the listener know two or three things that they can listen for while you're playing this piece?
Oh yeah. So this piece was given to me by one of my mentors, Father Steve Schlesser of the Loyola History Department, of course, and a wonderful organist himself.
Yeah.
And last year I studied 20th century French Catholic revival and music with him. And Langlais is firmly situated, I think, in the tradition of Parisian Catholic modernism, like Tournemire and Dupré. He dedicated this piece to Dupré. It's a simple piece, really, in two parts. You can think about it that way. It's got a colorful, contemplative, chromatic harmony in the hands that he states first for the first couple minutes, and then that's developed with some embellishment supporting a plain chant theme in the feet. The plain chant in this, Kyrie eleison, of course, from the Mass, it's an ancient call for mercy, and the way it's voiced in this piece, it sounds like a kind of solitary, maybe lonely prayer spoken into the background of shifting, uncertain, and unstable harmony. So in that way, I think it can be an appropriate piece of music for October 2020.
That's for sure. And I'm so glad you brought up Father Schlesser. He's been such a great supporter of ours, both in the background and really vocally of the organ series and of our organ on campus. So it's so appropriate for you to mention him and for all of us to say thanks to Father Schlesser as well for his ongoing support, for teaching that amazing class. I've had many students who've taken it, and I've also had just the honor of talking with him about it. And he's very passionate not only about history, but about music and how it fits in the scope of history. So thanks for mentioning him, a great supporter of ours and the work we do in the chapel. Well, I think it's time to hear you play. So let's now enjoy this piece by Jean Langlais. Matthew, thank you so much for that lovely piece by Jean Langlais. Turning to our final piece on the program, Leon Boelman's Suite Gothique and our performer, Laura Bottei. Laura, we're changing seats here. I'm interviewing you for this final conclusion to our concert today. And the first question is really in two parts. Number one, how did you come to learn this piece? And number two, why does it fit so well in the month of October?
Yeah, so how I came to learn this piece really is, I mean, I keep a list of pieces that I plan to learn in the future, and this one had been on it for a little while. The reason that I really decided to learn it was because my boss at Fourth Presbyterian Church, John Shearer, where I am serving as organ scholar, he played it for our prelude and postlude, which I helped turn pages on last October near Halloween, and he was shocked that I had never learned the piece. And so this past summer, in my summer job in Maine, I was like, this is a good time. I had a lot of practice time. I was like, I should learn that piece. So I decided to learn the suite, and it was really fun. I even made it work on the tiny little Bozeman tracker that I was playing, even though it sounds a lot more majestic on our, French organ with all the reverb here at Loyola. And why is this fit so well for the month of October? Um, well, I mean, the name is Suite Gothique, so that means Gothic. So it makes one think of just like kind of a Gothic mood, both like architectural, but then it kind of, that's what the music sounds like almost. And so this is also, especially the last movement, I feel like has like a very like kind of spooky feel. So yeah.
There you go. I'll have to say, just having the privilege of teaching you, there's really been nothing that you've never been able to do that you've put your mind to. So it's interesting to hear that you heard John play it, and then you thought, wow, I have this opportunity of time this summer, I'm going to do it. And really everything that you've put your mind to, you've accomplished. So this is, again, an example of your amazing work ethic. And I think we all get to benefit from hearing this piece today. So before we hear you play the entire suite, can you give the listener a couple clues of what they could listen for in these next four movements?
Yeah, well, the first movement is the chorale, and it's very like loud, soft, basically just like an echo of the soft is like an echo of the loud phrases. And it's just, I use like almost the full organ on this, so you really get like the full feeling in those loud sections. And then it moves on to the minuet, which has like kind of a similar feel. Actually, there's a lot of, echoing in really all four movements. And there's, some fun scalar passages leading all the way up to the end where it gets really loud. And then the third movement is the Prière à Notre Dame. And it's just a really beautiful lyrical section, kind of a little bit of a palate cleanser between the minuet and the chorale, which are both quite loud, and then the toccata, which is also quite loud and has the, fun theme that I think makes it particularly spooky in the pedal. And of course, that echoing comes back, moving between all three manuals, kind of like Steve did in the Bach toccata and fugue. So yeah, I really enjoy this piece. It's really fun to play, and all four movements are so different, but they all bring something really great to the whole piece.
That's great. And I love your analogy of a palate cleanser. As you know, I love to have food analogies in teaching. So it's so great to hear that tradition is carrying on. So thank you for that insertion there. So a big thank you today to all of our performers, to Laura, to Matthew, for all their work in putting on today's program. And now let us enjoy Boelman's Suite Gothique.